So these 3 books, 4 Steps to Epiphany and Steve Blank, Eric Ries and Lean Startup Methodology, and Alexander Osterwalder and the Business Model Generation, Business Model Canvas, created a movement of entrepreneurship teaching. What was a long, functional domain on business schools, or come and we'll teach you business plan and marketing and production and agile manufacturing, came together at a really important point, inflection point in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, which was, remember that it started with the crisis and the lack of funding. A lot of money was lost, and investors were trying to recoup their losses and try to find more opportunities, more startups to invest. And these tools, also with the starting of the movement of the accelerators, which give early stage funding at very early stages of the idea development, through these mash up, it was like a perfect storm. There was a lot more new money coming in because they were recouping and regenerating their money flows. There were new methodologies that were enabling other startups, new people that were impacted by the crisis were just picking up the pace again for building startups, and also the advent of the startup accelerators. So these things came together at the right point between 2008 and 2011. It started a big boom. And after that, what happened in Silicon Valley, especially in other parts of the world, is there were a lot of money that's been put into startups, and that's the first time we started calling something like a unicorn. So everybody started saying, oh, it's $1 billion company, it's going to be a unicorn. Actually, VC found the time and then wrote about this. I think it was Aileen Lee from Cowboy Ventures. She coined the term $1 billion valued private company. And this is the whole point. Between the crisis and dot-com crash, up until the point where we had a lot of money, and this is again coincides with the US economy crashing and the mortgage crisis. So there were a lot of things that were impacted through the crisis environment. A lot of people wanted to use the most out of their money, and that money flew into startups that were practicing these methodologies, that were getting products out the door really quickly. So in general, now we got this context. You need to understand what the Lean Startup methodology and these tools creates. It's a process. It's a step-by-step process that helps entrepreneurs build and grow their businesses by focusing on experimentation, iteration, and pivoting. Building a product or service that customers want is at the center of this whole process. So it starts with customer discovery. You go out, you have hypotheses. This customer needs to solve this problem because of XYZ. This customer needs this value or need, and they have this aspiration. So it starts with understanding and interacting with the suggested potential customer segments. Then comes the process which we call the minimum viable product creation. Minimal and minimum, it's interchangeably used. It's the most simplest version of the product and service that you have been envisioning, and it's designed to help you test your idea with real customers. So you can call it a prototype. Some people do. I'm not a big fan of that because it's not a prototype. It doesn't actually need to function. It just needs to take this idea into the hands of customers and see how they react. Because most of the time, customers may be misleading as well in what they want, what they need, until the point where you show them something that they can interact with, they can use. At that point, you are starting to learn with your MVP. You are measuring very heavily what's going on. And one of these tools that's became very useful is the mobile interactions, the web interactions, and data analytics is a really big help. So you can push for interim or initial marketing strategies, go-to-market strategies on social media, on certain channels, in papers, and wherever you want to see this, have access to customers, you use the places. And then see, okay, here's my MVP. Here's how I was able to bring that in front of potential customers. Here's how I learned what they wanted, how much they used it, how much money I paid to acquire those customers. Did they use these features? Did they not use those features? It's exactly to identify what's working and what's not. And then you start making more informed decisions. Then you have something to show, mostly to accelerators and to early stage investors, that here's a certain product that I can build. I know what to build because it's been out. Here's a certain customer segment that I learned. Here's the marketing tools that I can create. Give me money so I can build a product, build a go-to-market strategy, and get the revenue. And this is an iterative process. The iteration process is very important because not always you can get to customers at scale. And this is where another concept is, which is critical from Jeffrey Moore comes in, which is crossing the chasm. Every industry, every customer has a different propensity for innovation. B2B or B2C, doesn't matter. We like certain things that are innovative. We don't like certain things that are innovative. I, for example, have not used a smartphone until the time that it was obvious that my BlackBerry is not going to function anymore. So I was late in iPhone 1, late in iPhone 2, late in iPhone 3, late in iPhone 4. I haven't used any Androids. I came into the smartphone industry as a consumer, I think it was iPhone 6. But there were people who were lining up in tents when Apple launched a new model. So those people are early innovators. The startup's job in this methodology using Lean Startup is to find the early adapters and innovators. But there's a problem. Not many customers or not many industries are early innovators or adapters. They wait until things settle down. They cannot risk including new things in their lives or in their processes as companies before it's been proven. So it is said that like almost 15% of the market is early adapters and the innovators, and 85% of the large market is behaving differently. Those are latecomers and sometimes laggards. So there's a difference, there's a gap between early adapters and these large market size, and that's called the chasm. So Lean Startup allows the founders find out who the early adopters are, having sustained innovation and keep building their products and services until a point where they can cross the chasm, become more mainstream, and then they can attract large markets. And that's why that funding that's been available to startups through accelerators and early stage funds is kind of helping them to cross that chasm and get to large markets. And this is what's been new. The idea of identifying the target market, dividing them into segments, identifying a business model that may be innovative or not, and identifying the product and service that a large customer base will require eventually. So that's the whole point of the Lean Startup methodology, the minimum viable product, customer development segment. We'll finish with a few of the quotes that I really like. One of them is from Steve Blank that says, in a startup, no facts exist inside the building. It's just only opinions. Muhammad Ali has a different way of saying this. Every fighter has a plan until they get the first punch in their face. That process of getting punched in the face, speeding up that process through customer interaction and MVP is really, really important. That's the path we're going to be mentoring startups. We have been doing that for years, and we have seen great evidence that it works. So, in short, you got the context, you got the tools, you got the reason why you should apply it, and we'll be moving on with different videos to help you guys through this process. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and also, please in the comments, write down any objections that you have against these methodologies, because we still see people coming up with reasons of not applying Lean Startup, especially engineers. They keep on telling us they need to build something first to show the customers, otherwise they're not comfortable in going to people. They feel like they move into the customer's office with their pants down. That's not the case, but please comment on this video so we can have a conversation as a group of people, as founders and mentors, to guide you through understanding the concepts and help you build better startups sooner and better. Take care.